Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this evening's match between the Fellowship and Nunya. It is a week 2 official of Season 31, sponsored by STN Trading and Copenhagen Games. I am joined by Beta on the camera and Dumtum, my fellow caster. How are you doing tonight, Dum?
Pretty good. We had a little bit of trouble setting things up last minute. Same can be said about the teams, though. Looking at the players on the server, Nunya doesn't quite have the full lineup here today. They're missing a Soldier, they're missing their Demoman. They have Poison as the backup player, and War stepping in as Merc. Not on roster, on Demoman, so Nunya a little bit weakened here, I would say. Not necessarily player-wise, but just coordination-wise. Obviously, both Poison and War won't have the same practice and cohesion with the team than the other two players would have here, Lucas and Opti, so that could be interesting. Fellowship, on the other hand, has the full lineup ready and available. And last week official against 7 was pretty sketchy, to say the least. But that was against 7. That's a whole other ballpark here. And now they can show us what they're really made of, hopefully.
Yep, so I have got news that these guys are about to start. So quick predictions as we go into the game. Who do you think is going to take this victory?
If it was for the full lineups, I would have maybe said Nunya, but now I want to favor Fellowship by a decent amount here and say that I'm going to comfortably win this by like a 2-3 round lead.
Yeah, I think Granary is going to be very close. It could go either way. And as you mentioned before, Poison and War are definitely by no means any skill-wise lesser than each other. But I think that Viaduct, which is the second map, is going to be a bit of a stomp, or it should be in my eyes, as we're about to go live. So once again, this is a week 2 official between Fellowship and Nunya on Season 31, sponsored by STN Trading and Copenhagen Games. And we are on CP Granary, and Dumtum, do you want to take us away on the first mid?
Sure, let's see what they have going here. Looking forward to it as the Demoman's rollout. Ratslayer going low. War taking the top side, obviously not having the pack quickly available. Ratslayer trying to stick him off, same on Wars, and nobody really did too much damage early. War eventually the first one to take damage as both teams arrive to the mid fight, trying to take position Fluo forward onto the enemy team. Jumps in early, Poison from the other side straight onto Dago, catches so much damage, but Ubers and Yilin with the same idea, but they can't find the success. Connor dodging for his life, but Yilin just doesn't get hit by these scouts. Skari and Natos just take too long protecting them, and Connor goes down, and in the meantime, Crafty and Mr. Epic make a good job of dealing with the rest of the players here, so big difference in the work the scouts are doing, and Fellowship is running away with this Dago surviving the double bomb in the end.
Yeah, Ubers did a massive bomb there on that mid, completely took away the distraction, landed in their choke, and then you saw Yilin land on the crates, just raining on so much damage and not getting focused by the scouts at all. Eventually picks off Connor, and Daegu survived, so he's going to have that 100% Uber advantage. We're going to see a bit of pressure from War onto this second point, but we do see the off-classes of Puskari on Sentry already, so they're definitely not going to be building this Uber. So it looks like at the moment the Uber is going to be taken up top. Daegu is with Crafty, and the Soldier's going to get aggressive, and he's going to get the Force. Poison should go down though, but the Force is out, and there is a level 2 Sentry to be dealt with. And at the moment they get down the Sentry, and they're going to be focusing the point here. But there are a lot of players still up on the side, and now the last fight happens. A lot of picks going from the Nunya side, and they're cleaning up house at the moment. It's just the Medic and 2 scouts left, and they're going to do well to get out here. But Daegu looks like he's going to be able to escape. Mr. Epic picking off Puskari on the way out as well. He's going to get cleaned up, but Daegu should be able to run out here. He is getting chased, but looks like that was a solid last hold.
Yeah, the early force helped so much on that for Nunya, and they're able to defend this. Unfortunately, not picking up Daegu hurts quite a bit. They had the time for it, but were just too slow on the chase here, and Mr. Epic just passed it into last to deny any sort of aggression onto Daegu while they're leaving, so that worked really well. As they're now trying to take the momentum forward with the advantage they have, get a kill onto both soldiers, playing really aggressive, maybe looking for the force, but not timing the bombs correctly. And with that, the counter aggression is just all on Nunya's side. He flew as well, trying to go deep, not catching Daegu though. And just like that, they take the point without letting it come to a stalemate in the first place here. Can't deny the forward one, and they only committed so far through choke that they just have to take this Uber fight here.
Yeah, and that's really bad. Fluo gets dropped there, and they do get Yilin off the pick there, but Poison also goes down. War's going to jump behind, but he's going to get picked off, and Ubers has just completely denied this. Uber and Crafty gets Connor. So bit of a rush decision there, but one thing I was going to say is that Fluo and Poison really suit this Nunya playstyle well, because they traditionally played Lucas on the pocket demo with like 2 scouts playing around the hills. which really helps the fact that even though they've got like a like sub soldier coming in playing for them, he suits their playstyle well, so he's going to fit in, playing without as many heals as some other pockets, for example, like Ubers likes to. But we do see the Fellowship pushing into second here. Poison holding very aggressively, getting a lot of damage onto Ratslayer, him falling down very, very weak, but nothing happening as of yet.
Yeah, but with disadvantage, it's not going to take much longer here due to this failed exchange attempt where they just completely ignored the spawners coming up on the Fellowship side and forward spawn and brought them all the way back to their own second as the push comes in. Crafty on the solo Uber wants to catch, preferably Connor. War delays things for quite a bit. Double kill not necessarily bad as long as they can push quick off this, but struggling right now. They get another kill with the poison. The soldiers come in from top as well. Blue taking a lot of damage. They want to keep going with this, and so far it's looking good. Crafty cleans one more up. Will die for his troubles, but Yilin has to go for the drop and he gets it.
That was the worst time to try and arrow someone. You had Uber. Why did you not just use it? Oh no. I mean, it would have been dire anyway, that Uber, because they only had 2 players up, but dropping
it was a lose-lose situation. Obviously, they lost like the hardest way possible there, but at the same time, as the Epic started playing the point, they would have at least gotten the force out of that and then were able to escape, because Nunya could not chase them out into second while the point is being capped, so it was already really, really dire for them, and they would have at least gotten an advantage out of this, but this way, it's just even worse.
Yeah, as we do go into the second mid-fight, see Fluo taking a very aggressive position onto the crates. It's going to get done, and there's a massive bomb there from Ubers onto Connor. Connor falling down very, very weak. Ian's now going to follow up and get down that medic pick, and you see the players on Fellowship are just grouping around their medic at the moment. Degu's going to fall down very weak, and a nice rocket from Poison there to pick off Ratslayer and Degu, and Fluo follows up and picks off Ubers, and now it's a 3-player to 2. But they're trading left, right, and here it's just Crafty and Crafty versus the Scout of Nuthouse and Fluo, and he's going to do well to be able to win this. He's got terrible positioning right now. They know he's there. Fluo's holding the high ground, and he gets picked off.
Yeah, I feel like Nunya just needs some better earlier aggression here, because the moment they keep on playing their own side, play passive, and wait for stuff to happen to them, the Fellowship's aggression is just so much better, and the Scouts just aren't able to deny these bombs. They take so much damage, lose their med and demo early, and it's just lacking later on. Afterwards, obviously, it still devolves into this, like, my med died, let's sack for this, the M-Wave, that can win you games, but that by no means the most reliable way to try and approach mid-fights here.
Yeah, so we do see now Nunya in a much better position than they were last round, and Ratslayer's going to get focused down. Guskari just holding W and killing him off. And we do see Yilin in trouble, actually. He's stuck behind. He's on 1 HP on Abby. He picks off Poison, and somehow they turn that around. Fluo, Poison, and Puskari all went down there. And although Yilin did get cleaned up, they are only 1 player down here. So it looks like they're going to be trying to contest this middle. But Degu's got the high ground at the moment with the Uber. The Uber's going to come out from Corndog, soloing it, but he's just going to have to run straight back out. And it looks like a successful mid-take from the Fellowship.
Yeah, but I wouldn't think Nunya just wants to let this go and try to cover. What takes so much damage on the point as well. Blue on the flank side, trying to do his hardest, but Mr. Epic just on the medic deals so much damage. Connor completely cut off from everybody, because Puskari just passed us forward. And somehow during all of that, Degu still died to that, while it was a really, really sketchy attempt to dry push back into mid here. By Nunya just trying to come in against a team completely set up for that. And that's the problem I have with these exchanges sometimes on Nunya. They want to exchange, but not actually do anything during the exchange. They just go for like the most passive one they can possibly get.
Behind. He got off Yellen, but he's going to go down here. He missed every... Sorry for interrupting you there. I thought he was going to be able to pick off someone. It does mean that Nunya are going to try and retake this second point up, as the heals from the Fellowship are only just getting to yard. But 1 player down is going to make them be a lot more passive. Flo gets aggressive onto Ratslayer, and Poison's going to finish off his damage. But Mr. Epic's got behind, and this is a complete collapse. Puskari's fallen very weak, and it's just him and Connor left, and they're separated. This is the worst of the situations now. Yillen's going to get straight onto Corndog, and he's going to go down, and he's going to be raining damage down on the Scouts. This looks like,
well done. Just all the flank areas have been abused perfectly there by Yillen and Mr. Epic, while Nunya was just getting back to the point and was still busy capping it. And the quick aggression worked perfectly, like you said. Connor going down later in that as well. Looked a bit like the Scouts wanted to keep on fighting there on both sides, but realized probably for the best if they wait for this Uber here.
Yes, the Uber does come out from Degu. All the players up for Nunya, but they're focusing the point very, very quickly here. Let's see if they're more successful than the last push. Nut House picks off and Crafty goes down as well. So both scouts down for the Fellowship, but the hills are terrible on Nunya right now. It's just the scout pressuring the point, and it's Fluo left with the medic, and they're going to cap it off. Yilin getting 3 frags at the end there, and that is 2 rounds to 0.
Yeah, I didn't see who it was on the Fellowship's end, but somebody was on their perspective far left side of the point, while everybody else in the Fellowship was on the complete other side, which let them just so easily get back to get pressure on the point, while all of Nunya was busy killing a single person, which sure on paper sounds not too bad. You get a safe kill there onto a single player, but they gave up so much space for that and had trouble getting back on the point.
Yeah, as we do go into this third middle, Ratslayer once again choosing their lower option, as we do see both teams just filling each other out. A lot more aggression from the soldiers of Nunya here, but they're going to be cleaned up. Fleur taking a massive pipe there. He's going to get cleaned up, and now they're 2 soldiers down. And Yelen's actually got behind. He's going to get focused down, but there is only no soldiers on the side of Nunya right now, and it looks like the Fellowship should be taking this convincingly.
Yeah, it's just a matter of cleaning up these kids' corner. Nuthouse and Piscari all stuck at choke. And it's just a matter of hitting shot, but so does War. Gets a 2k there. Deku suddenly all alone. It's just a matter of a DM fight here. And the scout here, Mr. Epic, is a little bit weaker, but Nuthouse really doesn't want to take the fight where Connor really wants to. A little bit of miscommunication, and eventually Connor has to pop here, being really weak, but it's such a worse exchange. They need to rely on spawns to actually get out here. Gets the pack as well. Nuthouse needs to delay for so long though.
Yeah, actually that was really well played there from Nuthouse. It was a much worse Uber, but he body blocked him. And now Mr. Epic is stuck in. He's going to get juggled and he's going to go down. Somehow that Uber delayed. I think it was the fact that the soldiers went down super early for Nunya, so actually that worked out better for them when they were recontesting mid. The soldiers got there much quicker than the Fellowship. And do we have a pause?
Must be, right? It's on my end as well, so yeah.
It looks like a pause.
That was an interesting mid fight though, because this time the Fellowship played really, really passive. The soldiers didn't really hard commit, only Yilin really late. Uber's just kind of jumped high to throw in some damage to support that. But for the most part, they played really passive and let Nunya come their way, which is kind of what I wanted, but it really didn't work in the paper in the end. And it just ended with them getting completely destroyed for the most part up until that DM fight and choke. And that was a strange pause, I've not seen that before, but the end result is everybody but Mr. Epic and Yilin died.
That was really weird, because it just jumped forward, so I don't know how that happened, but anyway, after that fight, we do see that the Fellowship are now going to be taking mid, but it looks like Nunya don't want to be giving this up. War's going to be on the aggression. Yelen's going to jump behind, get one nice rocket onto Kondo, but he's going to surf down onto the pack. He is very, very weak, and Flo is down to 4 HP, but looks like they will be holding onto mid there. Yeah, it was a bit confusing as to what's happened there. Daegu does have a small advantage, but it looks like actually it's going to be Nunya, the ones that are taking the aggression here, and they're going to be trying to go through choke.
Yeah, let's see how they will do it. Ooh, this is probably what caused the pause here.
It looks like the server crashed.
Happened, yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, and the whole... everyone's gone. What is going on here? I've never seen this before in my life.
Yeah, that was really strange. Let's just hope we get the new server quickly. Do you remember how much time was left in the game when that happened?
Well, I mean, it will still be the same amount of time that we've got now, I'm assuming. So, around 18 minutes left.
Yeah, it's just a matter of them getting like everything set up correctly after they get back on the server then.
But yeah, interesting game so far. We do see that the Fellowship are two rounds up to 0, but Nunya look like they have the potential in there for them to be able to take rounds, but it's just that last little.
Yeah, they just need to play like a little bit smarter, because they clearly have the DM to take the fights here, but they just take all the wrong fights, it seems. Like they just keep contesting things they shouldn't, like on mid earlier in the first round, I think it was. But they just like went for the exchange, did nothing during the Uber, left immediately, and then just tried to come back in off of absolutely nothing. And I know that's kind of the playstyle they want to have, but that's why you want to have something happen during the exchange that makes it easier to come back in the first place. This way it's just a complete like a dry push where you might as well not even build your Uber in the first place and just go in before anybody has built in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed, I remember after the interview of the last official, Corndog said that this team was only made to cause chaos. That he just wanted some DM-heavy players that could, take fights constantly and see what happens. So I guess it sort of is fitting their playstyle. But obviously with two mercs as well, like, you know, even if you are going to go for that sort of chaotic playstyle, you're going to have some sort of, you know, back pocket strat or some sort of cohesion. But obviously, it's just going to be that much worse when you're playing with two players that haven't been used to playing with each other. As we are about to go live again. So
yeah,
it is.
Judging by the chat, it's 18 minutes left, and Nunya had mid on even Ubers is what they agreed on.
So yeah,
which sounds about right, yeah.
Hopefully, that means they'll just give up mid, build Uber, and then once that's done, we'll get set again. Interesting to see that none of the players rolled out as like a pick class, so no one just decided, oh, well, I'm going to go sniper. Crafty was delayed in the spawn, so I thought he might switch off, but it is cookie cutter for now. And let's see if we can see some of these pogos that most soldiers do from the ramp room. Just pogoing off the ramp and getting straight onto the medic in yard. But,
well, judging on what we discussed before, I wouldn't be surprised if Nunya just straight up wants to go for an exchange again. A little bit harder on this point because the mats are not so close to each other. Inside second in the inner area, or on like most other maps where you're holding a lot closer to each other, it's a lot easier. But here you have to cover so much distance before you can exchange.
Yeah, I don't think a trade really works here unless obviously you've got like a damage sort of advantage, but obviously arrows are kind of negated, that sort of thing, where if the medic's holding that far back, he can quickly arrow a player before an Uber exchange. So, and on the other hand,
nice rocket by Yilin. Poison before he leaves.
Yeah, so
Yilin with the counter-sack, can he do anything with this? No, the scouts are in position to deny that, so counter-sack immediately prevented as well. And now it's just a matter of who makes the first mistake here, really, in this stalemate.
Yeah, as we do see, actually, the trade about to come out. I was going to say, the medics are really holding far back, and the Uber exchange is going to happen. Connor's going to be able to get out here, so no players lost there. And there's no aggression from Saw that I can see at the moment, so both teams just getting rid of the Ubers and trying to recycle and see if they can do anything without those in play. So we do see the soldiers from Nunya trying to get aggressive in the Saw room, but Fluo takes a pipe and he's going to have to heal up before doing anything else.
He was so passive there, just waiting in front of the door and just basically asked to get hit, but he's really lucky that Nunya didn't peek the corner in time. And with that exchange, it was really sad to see that the Fellowship didn't react fast enough to actually like juggle in corner. Red Slayer tried late and admittedly way too late to just stick him off and prevent him from leaving. And they had all the time in the world with how much better Nunya they had to do that. So in some ways it's on them to have the situation continue in the stalemate, because they had such a good opportunity to just get people stuck during the like solo Uber with Connor and the scout.
As the trade does come out here again, but same sort of thing. Ubers is going to go down, but once again, they didn't try and juggle them again. It was a much better Uber from Deku, as we do see some aggression from Poison coming in now. He's going to be focusing on the scout though, which is a kind of a strange decision when the medic was free, but he has caused a lot of space. Ratslayer's going to go down. The soldier's going to fall very weak. Flora's going to go down as well. And then Yilin, and there's a lot of picks going. Crafty's going to get picked off as well. And this looks like Nunya are going to be taking this, but they might want to get forward. I don't know. Ubers is going to rain down some damage onto them, but they do have a pick advantage at the moment, and it looks like they're going to push onto the left side of Blast.
And they come in quickly. Uber's up top, gets multi-predicted. People take so much damage with Piscari. War really weak. Scout's starting to play the point, but Red Slayer spawns in time, pipes or sticks down both of them. And War is just still trying to take the spike with his own spawners coming up, but so are the ones of Fellowship. Poison destroyed on the point, and everybody in the shutter don't take so much damage, and Crafty just cleans up all of them.
Crafty's fallen down very weak here, so he'll do well to be able to chase. But they are chasing Corndog here. He is going to be able to get out with that Uber there, so well played by Corndog to save her. Poison here, nice air shot on Ratslayer on last, but he was too weak to follow it up.
Still down 2, and they're still so aggressive here. They need a really good exchange to not have this go worse, but Nuthouse gets dropped in the Uber. And suddenly this whole idea of just stalling time for the spawns to come in is just completely gone, and the Uber is completely wasted.
Mr. Epic gets destroyed there from Fluo, but the Uber is in the hands of Deku still. And Crafty looks like he's going to get aggressive. Maybe a bit of miscommunication there, because Deku used when he didn't really need to there. But the Uber is going to come out nonetheless. Corndog now sitting with a 20% advantage, and they do have lost one player on each side. Nunya going to contest this. War looks like he's trying to get aggressive here.
Yeah, they definitely want to keep taking this fight like we've seen them do before, but they take so much damage on entry. Lose Piscari, Uber's in as well, gets the easy cleanup rocket, gets the second one as well. War dies on top of that. And the Soldier's just desperately looking to get some consolation prizes, but not looking too great as they both get cleaned up. And the only one here to make things any better is Nuthouse hiding in the corner.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Corndog just took a pipe and a roller. He was down to 5 HP. And easy pickings from Ubers there.
That's what I don't understand with how Nunya's playing. When they came into second successfully earlier, before the last push, they had a kill onto Ubers, they took a really good exchange, baited out Red Slayer to completely overextend while everybody was forced back by a single jump. It worked perfectly. And then you have a fight like this on like non-Uber, I should say, on both sides, and they just kind of try to waddle into like a choke point effectively through the garage door and take so much damage trying to do it because the team just has no reason not to be set up for something like that.
The Uber is going to be coming through for Degu. Everyone is buffed up. There is a level 2 sentry, but that should quickly go down, and it is going to go down. There is a heavy in the form of Nuthouse, and both soldiers from Nunya are still up. But Mr. Epic is going to be the first pick of this Uber push. There is also going to be a conch, or a banner, sorry, from Yillen. So a lot of protection here, as we do see Poison falling down very, very weak. But at the moment, there's no picks really for this side. Both teams just holding each other's side. No point as well at the moment. Looks like Corndog's going to get his Uber soon as well. He's down on, he's on 90% now, and it looks like they're going to successfully hold it once again.
Yeah, the Fellowship just didn't take any space with like either the Uber nor the banner, and what's the point of having
Poison's
like
behind as well.
invincibility or damage resistance if you don't do anything with it? They just kind of looked at each other.
Poison's behind in choke at the moment, but I don't think he knows that they're in mid already. He's holding in choke, hoping that they're holding yard, but he's
equally though behind his Ubers as well, all the way on second. Could start a backup, could just go all the way behind, try to get a force in or something like that.
Yeah, he is going to be going through drop down, so I think a force is what he's going to be trying to do. As the Uber exchanges do come out, Corndog lost that advantage, and he's going to be juggled, and Ubers comes in from drop down. War gets destroyed, Corndog goes down, and this is a complete farm here from the Fellowship.
Degu gets the sword, like disadvantage trigger, but everybody tries to beat for him. Deal quite a bit of damage, but eventually it's not enough. Nuthouse poison, and Fluor might not be dead here yet, but he will be now with the final shot of Crafty. And in the end, really nicely played around the fact that Ubers was behind. Just really nice patience down the man as well, to just take his time, wait to see what happens on mid instead of just rushing for a backup or something like that. And was just in the right place at the right time, clean, or help at least clean up everything there, and just delayed the exit so much after this exchange. And these exchanges are getting worse and worse for Nunya.
Yeah, I think they're really like rushing at the moment. They're trying to force things that shouldn't really be forced, and obviously the 2-round deficit's not going to help as well. As we do see Degu, he's going to be having that 6-skill advantage, and I'm really impressed at the moment with the playstyle of Crafty. He's playing really solid as Pocket Scout at the moment. He's going to take this Uber through, and he's going to be focusing Fleur. He's gone down very weak, and he is going to go down, but Ubers gets dropped in the Uber to a sticky trap from War. And let's see how this Uber push. Corndog goes down very weak. Mr. Epic's on him. He's dodging so well. He's down to 10 HP, but he survives. Oh my god, Corndog, what a play. And Mr. Epic is going to go down to Puskari on the NG. Wow.
And this keeps happening for the Fellowship. Their focus fire is just not getting enough done on these last pushes here. They come in with the Uber, get like something on the Uber, but once the Uber fades, immediately just any sort of hope for the last push is just gone, as nothing takes any significant damage.
Uber's going to try and go in for the force, but he was far too early there. Corndog delaying his push, and he's going to get out with his life. Fleur falling down very, very weak as well. So we do see Degu's building this very, very well, and I don't think Nunya are going to know that Degu's going to have Uber here. They're walking in here, and they're going to be trying to go this left side, but Fleur gets picked off by a stray pipe, and Degu's going to have this Uber up, and the exchange is going to happen. And once again, this is a terrible exchange for Nunya, and they've got players surrounding them. Corndog is not going to be getting out here, and he goes down. Nuthouse quickly follows, and it's just Puskari and War left.
Yeah, you mentioned Nunya's out for chaos, but so far the only one suffering from that are themselves, because the Fellowship has clear advantage in any of these fights that Nunya is taking, and it feels like the Fellowship knows way ahead of time what Nunya is trying to do.
Well, it becomes predictable, doesn't it? Because they know that they're going to take every single fight, so they know, oh, okay, if we just sit back, they're going to come into us. And Crafty's absolutely farming at the moment. Degu's going to take a nice rocket. He's going to fall down pretty weak, but they're going to come through anyway. They're not going to stop this aggression, and they just need to focus down these players. Oh my god, massive air shot there from Poison onto Ubers. But it looks like it's all going to be in vain. The hills have gone down for Nunya, and now it just needs to be Crafty just focusing these last 2 players up. But is he going to back off and wait for the Uber? I think that's a sensible decision. They're 2 rounds up. There's no need to throw that away.
Yeah,
And
they keep pressing the Fellowship's DM, and it might be there, but not among each other individually, sure, but amongst each other, the team DM on Nunya is just still so much better. And it just comes down to Nunya taking bad fights where the Fellowship gets the advantages from, but once it goes to last, there's nothing Nunya does wrong anymore, because they just don't do anything until the push comes in here.
yeah, the Uber does walk forward here. They're not going to use, and Degu's still not used. He's going to take a rocket, and now he's going to use Fleur. Going to go down. The gun's also going to go down, and they're going to be looking to put a lot of time onto this point, and it's just Nuthouse to block it, but eventually he gets knocked off, and that is going to be 3-0, or 1-0 for this since the reset, but it's 3-0 in total, and this is looking even more and more comfortable as the game goes on for the Fellowship.
Yeah, like I criticized the last pushes, and this one was easily the best so far, just because they were able to use so late and got the fluo pick on top of that for free as well. But you know, just the fact that they have this many chances in the first place just gives them the time to improve them, and Nunya just don't get in much of a better position this entire game.
Well, Ratslayer falls very, very weak, and War's got in a very aggressive position here. Both soldiers are going to bomb straight forward, and once again the aggression comes out from Nunya, but they're not getting any picks now. Poison is the only pick, and Corndog is going to get piped, and Crafty and Mr. Epic. The 1-2 punch there from the Fellowship, and they're going to be knocking down the opponents. Puskar is going to be knocked down, and it's just Nuthouse. He gets cleaned up by Ratslayer, and except for Yilin, that was a complete, wipe there. So
Yeah,
Yilin was the only pick to lose there.
Yeah, it's just also a perfect example of how the game goes. Nunya just aggressively trying to take the fight desperately, and Fellowship just is holding back, taking the easy fight instead. And it just works perfectly. Connor switching onto crits for this last ulti. They have a sniper as well, which is always good given how it can help force them early, and that has been something that has saved them a lot of trouble, but on a 3-round deficit on 6 minutes left, just having them fail the last push is not enough anymore.
Yeah, as we do see, this Puskar sniper is going to be completely invalid now the Ubers come out. We do see the Ubers focusing down the point. Nuthouse is going to pick off Ubers, and Crafty's going to pick off Poison. So it's 5v5 at the moment. Mr. Epic's going to pick off Nuthouse, and this looks like it's going in the way of Fellowship. Although a couple of picks here and there, and suddenly it's the 3 versus 2. Just War left on the beam, and Corndog's nowhere near to this crits, and that's going to be the 4th round. And you got to say, you know, switching off to that crits there, he wasn't even able to build that in time. So let's see if he takes this into the next round. But,
he does.
I think this is going to be a very quick last round. I think that if I was in the Nunya's mumble, I'm guessing it's going to be not a very serious mumble. Maybe a bit of tilt, maybe a bit of just who cares, because they're playing with 2 players that are not on their main roster. But
at the same time, they at least were winning like a lot of even fights once it actually came to just being in a position where they just had a normal fight. But I don't know if that's enough to have some confidence in product now, especially with the like full team lineup on the other side.
Oh, nice bow there from Corndog to pick off the medic, and actually it looks like this mid is going to go. Oh, I was about to say it's going to go in sense of Nunya, but then Crafty cleans off, and he should be able to pick off Corndog there. 3k from Crafty at the end of that mid to claim it, and he's got 4 doms, man. He's having a bit of fun this game. He's not really being challenged, and I think it doesn't help that Nunya have 4 players. I think a couple of players are just rejoining, but
oh yeah, Poison reconnected.
Yeah, I think Crafty is absolutely farming right now, and I expect in the logs to mirror that performance.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, and all they really need is to just step up the coordination in the M fights on the Fellowship here to have like a really, really easy time on product, I would say. Because that's been what's been the weakest, and it really only came through on these last pushes for the most part. Because outside of that, they really just had to wait for stuff to be able, on Nunya's side, to commit on to them. To just like take a much, much easier fight.
We see a heavy actually in the form of Puskari. Nuthouse is going to go down the flank, and actually, I saw in chat the reason for them leaving the server was because Crafty had 6 doms, so the dominations are now gone, so that's why he's down to 4 now. So the Uber is going to come out from the Fellowship, and they're going to be focusing down Corndog. Nice rocket there from Yilin onto Connor, and Poison is going to pick him off. And Degu's actually fallen very, very weak here. He's going to go down, and this scrappy fight should be going the way of the Fellowship. It's just a heavy and a scout left, and they're both very, very weak, and they are going to go down, and that should be the game. So it's going to be 5-0 to the Fellowship, and I'm a bit disappointed. I know they're playing with 2 different players, but I thought that map was going to be a lot closer.
Yeah, I would have really liked to see a little bit closer of a map, because last week the Fellowship game I watched was a complete roll against them. This time it's pretty much a complete roll for them, and I still don't really get too much of a sense of how they're actually playing, besides, as you mentioned, Crafty having just a really great time on the Pocket Scout today.
Yeah, as maybe we can have a look at the logs afterwards, as they have changed the map very quickly. So maybe as this was an early game, they're probably trying to get this done quickly. And while this game's going on, maybe someone nice in chat is going to put those 2 logs together so that we can have a look at the total logs, which would be nice. But
well, I just look at the things here on logs TF, and it only is 1 log existing for
oh
the
really?
second
Oh, that's all right then.
bit. Actually, no, I think this is both. I think 22 minutes.
Okay, yeah. Somehow it's
that's both together. I mean, how much
together.
is there to say about this? It was a 5-0. It wasn't full-time game. You saw it by kills. You saw it by damage. Mostly blew up top Crafty, Uber's Ratslayer, doing insane amount of damage for the heals they've gotten, 27, 23% heals each. It's just like, what are you gonna do on Nunya's side if you just keep taking these bad exchanges?
Oh my god, Crafty, nearly 400 DPM, 35 to 8, with 20 assists as well. So his KAD is 7. I mean, that's unheard of. I mean, I know they were playing against an opposition that wasn't really, I mean, it was almost like they were feeding his logs, but you've still got to give it to him. That was an insane performance from Crafty, and obviously heading into Viaduct or Product, which this team has they're veteran Prem players now, and they've always been strong at Product, mostly down to that Mr. Epic Sniper, which I hope we get some nice frags out of him going into this map, and obviously Uber's being flexible to be able to play Scout. So I'm expecting this map to be even more of a role if that's possible going into this map. How do you think this is going to go?
I would like to have some more hope into Nunya, but I don't know if I can. The only silver lining here is that they have 2 great snipers, and that could just maybe cheese out some really valuable kills. But I don't know how good they are specifically on it either. And after this, I don't think I can have that much confidence if Fellowship just can't keep on going the way they have.
Yeah, I mean, oh wow, I'm still outstanded by the amount of damage that's been done there. It's almost like the logs have been doubled or something, because that damage is just insane. Yeah, and even from Ubers and Ratslayer. So I mean, they were 2 players that in that game we didn't really, we didn't see any flashy players from them, but obviously they were just doing a lot of damage, and Yellen as well, doing a lot of damage as well. So, and Ubers, Ubers is on the on Roma. I didn't even realize. So that's an insane amount of damage for a Roma soldier, even on Granary.
Yeah, he had some really great flanks. Granted, it was maybe a little bit easy for them to get some of them done, but still he had really good flank timing and stuff like that, which is highly important. High-level gameplay to just be able to coordinate stuff with your team. We saw the one time when Nunya exchanged into mid from Garage, he was still behind from way earlier and came in from drop down at the perfect moment to just cut them off and just get them stuck completely in Garage and stuff like that. So his Roma is certainly also doing really good work here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we mentioned before Mr. Epic on Sniper, but obviously you mentioned that there's 2 good snipers. I'm guessing you're talking about Puiskari.
Well, I mean, if you look at it that way, there's 4 good snipers on the server, which is to say every single scout on the server. So yeah, everybody could potentially threaten that role. And Ubers has shown at I-61 that he's very much a capable scout as well. So if they want to go that route, that's also certainly a possibility.
Yeah, it's something that back when they were, the team with Mookie and the rest of those players, they always ran Ubers on Scout and had Mr. Epic on Sniper. So I think it's something that they're used to now, and it's almost like Ubers is more comfortable on the Scout role. But yeah, I don't really see this going any other way except a 3-0. I think Crafty's just absolutely hitting everything at the moment, and I'm really impressed by the way that he's taken that pocket scout role. Obviously he's flexible on both, but it's not just sitting around the medic and taking hills. He was really leading it, so you can tell that in Mumble he's going to be saying, okay, let's go this way, and he's just you know, you notice that by the amount of deaths that he has, the amount of damage that he's doing, because he's constantly with his medic and constantly looking to play around that beam and keeping his medic alive.
Yeah, that also made a huge difference. I mean, granted, it was a 5-0, but the difference in deaths between Connor and Daegu is still just astoundingly high. I think it was 6-17 or something like that. And you just can't let that happen. And there was some, like sure, we criticized Nunez Ubers a lot already, but to go into like at least a little bit more detail and just saying it was bad is that Connor was abandoned so much after these Ubers, and everybody on the fellowship just had the easiest time jumping him, while nobody on Nunya did anything about it.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing. There was just a real lack of a solid combo. Apart from War playing around Quandog, there was no real, like, you know, body of a combo and a flank, like, holding each area. And it was just very messy, everyone taking individual fights, and so the fellowship looked very well structured, and so they took advantage of the fact that there was like no flank. We saw Ubers and Mr. Epic getting behind on second multiple times and coming down from the balcony area. And yeah, you know, the same can be said for the combo where you saw Bratslayer and Yillen and obviously Crafty as well, just, you know, taking those later trades and having a much better Uber and just punishing Nunya for taking those trades.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like you mentioned, Nunya made themselves predictable. They want to claim themselves as being chaotic and unpredictable, but they are very much the opposite. And just have like the same one or two plays they did the entire game. And on product that can easily happen as well due to just, you know, the map size being much, much smaller. So the same situations can easily come up more and more. And would you look at that, Mr. Epic is sniping.
Yes, but Puiskari is not, so it's going to be sniper versus non-sniper cookie cutter for the Nunya side, so let's see them hopefully get a lot more aggressive. Mr. Epic is going to be sniping on the cliff now, and the shot has rung out, so that cues the aggression. A headshot onto War there, and he's going to go down from the spam of Ratslayer. Going to see Fleur go behind, but already the picks are going in favour of the Fellowship. Poison's going to go down. Crafty's going to get picked off by that house on the flank, but Condog is all alone. Puiskari's gone behind, and he should be picked off in due course.
Yeah, just Puiskari behind wants to desperately get this kill, but there's just too many bodies around Daegu, and that was really well played with the sniper here, given what they had to do. They played really passive, had the scout, one scout on flank with the armor, one scout on top with Mr. Epic, so he can't get jumped easily, and both scouts just perfect denial to the soldiers trying to make plays, while the sniper just threatens so much space to make life all the easier for the rest of the players. And worked really well. You don't always see people that actually play with a sniper like have too much of a plan here, but they still really, really solid going into this.
Oh my god, Mr. Epic! This is where the plays start happening. Destroys Fleur as he tries to wall jump. Coffee and Ratslayer are going to go down to War there, but Corndogs is going to go down. Mr. Epic going to be picked off by Puiskari, but the Uber is still in the hands of Daegu. They're trying not to hold it there. He's going to get the bat onto Daegu, and Degu's desperately trying to get the health kit, but he is going to, and an unsuccessful force, even though they got loads and loads of picks. Looks like,
yeah,
once
worst
again,
of all, Yillen also did a jump of his own doing that, just to threaten Connor forward, and it worked perfectly. Got the medical as well, so they didn't even end up doing any of that, and still have this huge disadvantage eventually. Not enough bodies on the field here for the Fellowship to deny these jumps, so they just decided to pop in, try to get some kills down. But he was so bad in the end, they couldn't catch anything, and they just lose numbers. Slowly but surely, Poison behind lines has been spotted though, so the fight can't be continued that easily. You want Knuckles considering it, but they are outnumbered for the moment. They only have slightly better spawns here, but they need to stay alive for that in the first place and hit the shots.
Yeah, and Condog's really, really scared of being able to peek here because of Mr. Epic. We know what he can do. And Yillen's going to fall very, very weak onto the flank, and he's eventually going to go down. It's just Mr. Epic left. Let's see if he can escape with his life here. But he looks like he's going to get chased down, and he is going to go down. And the one advantage of playing with cookie cutter classes is that you can get a lot more aggressive. As the Uber does come out here, they're going to try and get down onto the demo man. He's going to go down, and Crafty and Ubers are both stuck behind as well. Crafty doing really well to survive here, is eventually going to go down. But we also see a flank from Yillen here. He's going to pick off War, but the picks are going in the way of Nunya.
Yeah, but how much is that worth? Because in the end, they wanted to catch Daegu with that on cliff in the first place, seeing him just on the door. But they weren't able to catch him, so they eventually just gave up this advantage for a few kills. That might as well just have been a sack wave anyway, and they just kind of gave him the advantage back to try and take this fight any second now.
Yeah, as we do see Daegu with that Uber nearing capacity, It's Epic just watching the right-hand side at the moment, not really doing much as of yet. As the Uber is looking to get more aggressive. Puskar is going to go down to an overextension, and Corndog's backed all the way out. The Uber's going to come out, War's going to get picked off. And again, it's the same sort of Uber where they're trying to pick off the enemy medic. Fluo is going to get picked off as a result of it, and he's going to pick off Ratslayer as well, which is a pretty important pick, especially when you're running a sniper. Denying that damage class that can just really deny ground on product. But it's roles reversed now. Let's see what the blue team can do to defend this point.
Without Dammerman as well, as the push slowly comes forward by Nunya. Yillen just throwing in some damage. With Epic still sniping helps a lot, picks up Fluo with some fall damage, and suddenly Nunya just forced on the aggression, tries to get forward. Yet Yillen, Mr. Epic rotates, and Connor just so far forward alone, pops on nothing, eventually connects with War, but they can't catch anything anymore. On both sides, these Ubers are just not good enough, and they just end up taking these weird leapfrogs all over the place.
Yeah, but they have positioned themselves in like a semi-forward hold at the moment. The Crafty is going to go down as well. War's like really not wanting to give up this high ground. Oh, nearly gets air shot there from Yillen, and all of the players from Nunya are really, really weak. Ratslayer is going to go down, and it's just
Connor
Yillen.
missed that arrow onto War. He was just asking for it, standing still. Connor missed, War dies, and this whole fight just develops into a huge mess where people just trade all over the place. And in the end, Daegu survives it, and that's probably the most important factor here.
Yeah, but it looks like Corndog, if he does build this, he should be able to get Uber before by the time that Daegu pushes into him. So it looks like it's finally equaled out. We do still have Mr. Epic on Sniper. It's on the balcony area at the moment, and with a slight disadvantage, they are going to have to give up this point. Poison's going to bomb straight into Daegu, but he's going to do it, and Fluo jumps in and he's going to drop Daegu. Both soldiers going down, but they do pick off their man. The Uber's going to get forced from Corndog, but he already has dropped 3 players. Ratslayer is going to get picked off, but we see both scouts on the flank, both running through connector at the moment, looking to cause some chaos.
Yeah, this is really dangerous. Connor is weak as well from before the Uber even happened, so they need to be really careful. Crafty Uber still around. Not enough with the first attempt, but Uber doesn't even try. Mr. Epic just backs him up on the way out. The Uber survives. Mr. Epic not quite, only picking up poison. Maybe not quite the most useful kill. And in the end, a little bit of a shame that they didn't more aggressively try to get that, since they do have at least a slight disadvantage here. And somehow, after all is said and done, the time is still really, really close.
Yeah, Mr. Epic really not hitting much, compared to usual at least. Anyway, and Degu's fallen very, very weak. He's down to 30 HP. Let's see, and as I say that, headshot rings out onto Nuthouse. Fluo is launched so high up in the air, he's going to get picked off as well. And I don't really agree with this aggressive jumping. When they've got the point, they've got advantage as well. Corndog can give this point up and just use the Uber to retake it. The cap is going to go down, but it's after they've hit 0 as well. So hopefully they can use this Uber advantage just to hit in. And now is when they need Mr. Epic to hit that clutch headshot.
And let's see if it's enough now. They come in popping really early, not taking the risk. More getting body shot mid Uber, so it doesn't really do anything. And they do get forced out of Daegu, but they have to abandon space so quickly after this exchange like we've seen before. Trying to just survive post-Uber, and they do take the post-Uber fight eventually once the spawns come in. But they took so much damage early on. Super Sky focused down really early on, and they can't not play the point at this time. And it just makes them really easy targets. Only War and Poison on the point, but there's 2 scouts and a Demo Man. That's just too much. Connor getting a nice little frag here of his own, but he's completely abandoned on the point. That should be it.
Yeah, Yellen played. Oh my god, Fur's going to bomb it at the end, and he's going to add 1 more death to the log. Yellen played so well right at the end there. He got 2 really important picks. He got the fluoro pick on the flank, and then destroyed the scout that was trying to aggress on him when he was weak. And you know, getting those 2 picks made Nunya down to 4 players on what was a need push, as both teams were right down to the last second. So they do take the first round, but it was much closer than we expected.
Yeah, let's see how the rest of this continues going. Fluo going behind really early and want to get a jump onto the sniper, gets onto the medic instead, spaces him out completely, gets a really easy jump there, but at the same time you try to go aggressive, and Yillen from the sideline gets a huge amount of damage onto Connor, able to clean it up, and Scary left. Actually wins the fight again, the scout there, but Mr. Epic's SMG is enough. Real nice adaptation. They were so scared of losing the sniper on the mid fight that they just ended up jumping the medic instead. It worked.
Oh, I was going to say, if Mr. Epic hit that headshot, that would have been insane. He doesn't. He falls down very weak, Fluo, and he is actually going to get cleaned up by Coffee, and they don't want to give up this point. I don't disagree with this push. We're going to see an aggressive bomb here from Poison, but he's not going to get anything. He's going to get cleaned up by Crafty, and Ratslayer is going to be raining down damage onto the point, getting loads of sickies, and looks like they're going to be trying contesting this point.
Yeah, that was really sad communication there between the players on Nunya at the end of the second fight. Poison jumped out into absolutely nothing, while Ratslayer was so weak already. They just gave up the point with it. They don't want to keep giving up though, they want to keep fighting here on the 10% disadvantage they have, just keep rushing the point, throwing damage over, but the slow game against the sniper is not the safest play. You can make it miss that.
Oh my god!
Heard your criticism, I think.
Oh my god, he hits a third! This is the Mr. Epic we want to see. This is the guy that makes highlight frag videos on product alone. As the Uber trades do come out, Degu is going to be able to use that Uber to pick off Corndog. There is a soldier behind, but the sniper knows about it, and Poison gets headshot. He's going to run with his tail between his legs, and he's stuck in house on very weak HP.
Yeah, and it's going to be once again this weird fight here where they
oh
look
my
like...
god, Mr. Epic! Oh.
They kind of want to commit, but they also really don't want to throw everything in they have, and in the end, Sniper, like I wanted to say just then, just makes mincemeat of them, and Mr. Epic picked up the pace for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think he's heard my story. I'll take credit for it. I want to see these frags from Mr. Epic. His sniping is absolutely sick. Fleur is going to bomb in behind and try and get onto the sniper, but he's so well protected. Mr. Epic is going to surf away. He's going to get picked up by Fleur. So that is the sniper down, but you know, when Corndog goes down and War as well, it's not really an important pick if you get the sniper because the rest of your team is dead.
And the worst thing of all of this is, while they protected the sniper really heavily from these bombs coming in, they didn't even like abandon space too much on the point, and they kept up picking people on Nunya up that were trying to push over the point in the meantime, and just the whole defense on the Fellowship is working incredibly well this game.
At the moment, it's 1 minute left for Fellowship on this time. They're going to be getting onto the sniper once again, but he's going to survive. Oh no, he's going to crater. Crafty and Uber's picking off War and Poison as well. There's Sky picking off a pick of himself, but Yellen's going to clean him up, and that was a sack wave, but they didn't get the Uber out of Degu, sorry. And it's just going to be Ratslayer.
It didn't even feel like they really wanted to pressure Degu with that. They just really wanted the sniper dead in the first place, and sacking 4 people on this ad for that might not be the best choice, because he's going to be up by the time trying to recontest here. Yeah,
absolutely. As the Uber's not quite there for Corndog yet. We're going to see a massive bomb there from Flo onto the demo. He's going to get one nice rocket, but he's going to get picked off. Poison picking off Yellen on the flank, but as the Ubers both come out from either team, and no real picks or damage coming out of these Ubers. Crafty's going to help Ubers in the fight of Poison, and War's going to get picked off by Mr. Epic there. They're going to cap off the point, but they're going to have to run back straight away, and looks like that was all in vain to cap that point.
Yeah, the fight is really sketchy with 2 down already. They pick up Crafty, but the sniper sideline is still there. Mr. Epic picks up second kill this live. Fuscari passes in. Big shot by Mr. Epic. He says, I can do that myself even if I'm not playing Scout. Just walks up there, hits 150 in his face, and Nunya just can't not push at this point. They need to contest them.
Mr. Epic's suddenly hitting up. Oh, massive air shot from Poison there onto Mr. Epic. But yeah, as you said, they need to capture this point. The time is all the way down to overtime. War's gone down very weak on the point, and Degu's going to pick him off with a saw. The Uber comes out, and they're going to pick off Corndog with that Uber advantage, and it's just Fluor left. He's on cliff, and he's not going to be doing anything here. He's just sitting there. He's going to stay alive for his logs. The pre-fire rockets come out, and that's 2-0 for Fellowship.
Yeah, that was such a stark contrast to the first round. Finally, Mr. Epic consistently hits more than one shot alive here on the sniper class, and it just opens up so many more possibilities. They can be so much more comfortable playing the slightly more passive style they've been adapting here with the double scout sniper, and the Fellowship is just not taking any amounts of pressure from these constant sack waves.
As we do see the third middle fight happen, everyone's going to be bombing onto Degu, and he's going to go down very, very weak. As we see a lot more aggression here from Nunya. They're going to be focusing down the scouts, and Degu's going to get picked off by the 2 finished scouts. It's just Yen alive, and now some poor Sky. That was much better, like them just playing around the hills there. And we do see Corndogs on crits.
Yeah, their solution to not being able to break through this defense is to just try even harder, it seems, with the more aggressive mid, with crits as well. And for now, it's been working. Let's see how long they can keep this going though, before they run out of steam, before the war returns on the Fellowship's end here.
Yeah, I want to see more aggression from these scouts, and like literally just go in with their soldiers that are bombing in. So we do see the massive bomb there on Yillen, onto Corndog from Yillen, but he is not going to be able to force off that crits. Poison's going to get picked off by Crafty on the flank, and the cap time is going down at the same time. Crits is going to come out, but they haven't got anything as of yet, and War is no longer crits. He's going to get a pipe onto Rat Slayer. He's going to hit that pan, but Corndog's going to go down at the end of that to a body shot from Mr. Epic, and this is looking like a disaster.
Yeah, that was a completely chaotic crit from them. War tries to rectify itself, wants to go in. Poison following up, gets one rocket, not enough. Nuthouse sneaks around. I don't know if they've seen that, doesn't matter. Jump by Fleur, also not connecting, and they do spot Nuthouse in time. Won't be able to break through there as he's just kind of left on his own. And yeah, what I wanted to say is just sort of really sad crits. They wanted to pop in, but at the same time there were still scouts on the flank that just completely took their attention away from anything. They didn't even see where Dagu was. Nothing was connecting, and in the end, just really well done by the Fellowship to keep holding on to this point now.
Yeah, and once again the soldiers are going to try and bomb. They're going to get the force out this time. War with nice force there, getting the damage onto Dagu. But they aren't going to get any picks, and so Corndog's only on 50%, so it's not like it's going to be a massive advantage, but they should be able to use this Uber. But the most important thing that they need to do is they need to get the medic with this Uber. They can't let Dagu survive again, otherwise, the Fellowship have enough time on the point just to, keep trading the point back and forth, and then just win the rounds.
Ooh, that's a decent start, using a player early on the Fellowship. Dylan's jumps gets denied by the scouts. He was also playing really aggressive. There's no way he gets out of that. Doesn't in the end. Nice fight for Ratslayer, makes it a little bit worse for Nunya, but in the end they just pop regardless, trying to catch something. But look at Fellowship's positioning. They're all so far back. They know what's going on. They don't even take a risk whatsoever after losing like the first 1 or 2 players here. And the only one who didn't get out is the Sniper, which is affordable enough, as they still don't even have Uber yet. So the push wouldn't be too feasible to begin with. Yillen is kind of stuck in, and Uber tries to help out from the other side. Kinda doesn't work quite the way intended, but they all rotate in from Cliff, want to take the fight, but they drop 2 players really early on in a really strange fashion, and they just need to pick up the pieces. But on the other side, Connor doesn't escape with his life, where Dagu could. They dropped so many players for this. Poison still behind lines as well.
Yeah, Poison picked off Mr. Epic there, and he's actually going to get onto the medic as well. He's going to pick off Dagu. He's hit a rocket onto the soldier as well, but he's not going to do anything more. We see Fluo dropping down very low. Uber's going to chase him down and get that pick, and yeah, Uber's farming there. And even though they lost their medic at the end there, they are going to regain the point, and the Ubers are very much equal. There's only 10% advantage for Corndog.
Yeah, they were a little bit careless coming into that push at the beginning here, once they had to pop in, but they were able to pick up the piece at least. Most importantly, Connor maybe once again, no, not quite. Yillen not connecting the last shot there after his sack attempt. Doesn't matter, Mr. Epic immediately gets the counter frag with a nice little sniper. Fluo jumps in for the force. Scary tries to get forward as well. Everybody on Nunya just tries to get the damage in. Yet might be stopped.
Connor goes down again
at the same time, and everybody's slowly getting picked up, while Yedu just safely backs out in the meantime. And they kind of just half committed to this aggression here. I can't tell you if that was a push or a sack wave from how they've been playing.
The most worrying thing is once again it's the 2 scouts from Nunya that survive. And you saw that on that mid that they won, it was the scouts leading the charge. And it seems like that's the main problem. They keep losing their soldiers and their medics straight away, and their scouts just survived, and they've got nothing to, take the charge for. So we do see the Uber is now up for Dagu, and the hills are so good. Corndog's getting completely denied from walking into the mid here, and Ratslayer is just farming down damage. Headshot rings out for Mr. Epic. Corndog's going to go down, and Nuthouse as well, and this is a complete slaughter.
Yeah, this can't not be game. Only a soldier and a scout on level. This guy desperately tries on a point against pretty much the entire team. Because Poison can't even quit in first, but eventually jumps, pieces onto Crafty, and that was the last attempt they had. Fellowship will be running away with 6 points out of this game, and this was a huge difference in how these teams played.
Yeah, and one thing that we've got to note as well is, and then we didn't mention at the beginning of the game, is both these teams are a couple of they're in the group of the teams at the bottom of Premiership, or the teams that you're not going to consider for playoffs.
I don't know necessarily. The Fellowship, it's really strange because the 7 is a clear contender, then you have Ascent and Feign that I would consider mostly safe, but after that it's a wide open field.
Well, I mean, a win like this is going to be like really important, though. One, for confidence, and two, obviously the 6 points is going to be nice. So that's what I was really trying to get to, is the fact that 6 points against these teams, that results can kind of go either way, like on their day. I think that that's going to be really important. So it's a really impressive display from the Fellowship. Let's take some look at the logs. I mean, it's going to be similar to the first game. We're going to see Yilin absolutely farming 25-12 with 360 DPM. Both the scouts as well, Crafty and Ubers, doing a great display, and just an all-round great team performance. We didn't see that many highlight plays from Mr. Epic. We saw a couple of glimpses of what he could do, but on the other side, you look at Poison and Fluo, 9-19 and 9-24. They were just constantly sacking in for what it looked like was the sniper rather than the medic, and that many deaths in that shorter game is evident as to what kind of playstyle they were doing and how much success they were getting.
Yeah, Deku only died 4 times this entire game as well, which is again just huge credit to the scouts here, I would say, to just keep him protected at all times. They did a really great job. And overall, I would say really great performance on both maps by the Fellowship. They played this a lot smarter. I mean, granted, against a team that played like Nunya here, it's not a hard step to make to be playing smarter than them, given how mindlessly aggressive they were a lot of the times. But they just did exactly the right things in terms of how passive they needed to be against the Nunya playstyle, to just sponge up their aggression every single time, or both on Kohan in these weird exchanges as well as on Product and just these whole sack wave team fights kind of things. And just really great defensive play here from the Fellowship to just deal with this.
Yep, as I don't think we've got any interviews. No one seems to be appearing for that, so I guess we're just gonna close this one up. It's a bit disappointing that this wasn't a closer show as I thought it may have been, but in the end, we saw that the Fellowship took it very convincingly, 5-0 on Granary and 3-0 on Product. Before I close this off, have you got any shout-outs, Tumtum?
Shout out to the other game on TFTV1 in about, let's be realistic, 15 minutes. And yeah.
I'm going to give a shout out to Beta for quickly getting this stream together when our cameraman didn't come. So thank you, Beta, for jumping in, saving the day. And thank you, Dumtum, for casting alongside me. This has been the Week 2 official between the Fellowship and Nunya. It was 5-0 on Granary and 3-0 on Product to the Fellowship. And as Dumtum mentioned, we now have a game on Team Fortress TV 1 on the first stream. So tune into that to see 7 versus Swift, which should be a good game. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So tune in there and we'll see you guys later.